Okay, so I've talked about the Rockafire / Chuck E. Cheese community before. I did a small little rant about a year ago, and this is diving into the whole fan game problem, at least that I see. Let's see here. Okay, first problem with the fan games, at least in my opinion. These fan games are not even original fan games, they're just rehashed versions of 64th Gamer's reel-to-reel engine. They're not even original. They're just rebranded titles. They don't even have anything original about them. Like, literally. Second problem I have with these fan games. You cannot play them if you are a average gamer. You have to go through all these hoops with the devs. You have to constantly battle your way into these servers, these Discord servers. You can't even play it because it's private. Now, that's not the devs' fault. That's because of copyright. So that I can kind of understand. But I just wish there was a way that fans outside of Discord could publicly play the Rockafire / Chuck E. Cheese programming games. And yeah, there's just nothing unique. And then there's a bunch of drama over who stole whose assets, what stole what stole this, who stole that. Artwork was stolen here, artwork was stolen there, blah, 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 blah. Just typical CC / Rockafire Explosion fandom drama. It's just, what the hell? It's stupid. It's stupid. It's immature. It's not okay. And another thing. These fan games, as I said earlier, have nothing original about them. And in the comments, you can argue with me all you want. You can say, oh, these fan games have all the original shit in the world. Oh, they're so original. Well, if they were so original, then why the hell are they using 64th Gamer's assets? Which I know 64th Gamer doesn't care about anymore, but still. Like, why are they using his assets then? And why are they just rebranded titles? Like, literally. There's like 3 different fan games. Retromation, Rockafire, I think it was Remake, and Showtape Central. All these games are just rebranded titles of the original reel-to-reel / Rockafire Replay game. They have nothing original added to them at all. They're just rehashes of the original. Now, I'm not trying to bash the developers of these games. I'm not trying to sit here on my ass and bash these people that are passionate about these games. I'm not trying to bash the developers at all. But I'm not a game dev myself, mind you. I'm just an average Joe. But if you make a game, at least try to, number one, get legal consent from Aaron Fechter / Chuck E. Cheese's if you can. Number two, if you're able to, make sure to if you're able to, make sure to make your games public if you're able to. Now, this I can kind of understand, considering that the Aaron Fechter is a real stickler on what he wants with the Rockafire IP, what he doesn't want. I can kind of understand that, but even then, he should really just let it go. But that's a whole discussion for another video. And Chuck E. Cheese's is a massive ass corporation that you'll never get the public rights to use the Munch's Make Believe Band IP for that game. So yeah, you're never going to be able to do that, sadly. So that I can kind of understand. And that's not the game dev's fault. That's just the legal shit. I don't know that mumbo jumbo, but that's just the legal shit. That's none of the dev's fault. So that I can kind of understand as to why these fan games are private. But it's just the lack of originality in the animatronic community, especially the Rockafire and CEC sides, are just annoying. Like, seriously, all these fan games are. Now, I will admit, there are some fan games like Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese's Rebooted. Now, that game's original. That game is original. And Rockafire Replay, before its whole cancellation drama with Aaron Fechter, that was original. CEC, let me see here. Chuck E. Cheese's, no. I'm thinking of a different fan game. Not Chuck E. Cheese's, Reel to Reel. That was original. But every single fan game since Reel to Reel / Rockafire Replay is just a copy and paste of it. And that's where I'm just like very frustrated right now. I'm just like, can I please have a fan game of Rockafire Explosion / Chuck E. Cheese's that is original and not a copy and paste of Reel to Reel / that is not a copy and paste of Reel to Reel / Rockafire Replay. Can I please have something original for once? Now, I don't know anything about game development. I know it's very hard. I don't know that for certain, but I would imagine developing a game is super hard. Coming up with originality is super hard. But I think what the main problem is here is the fact that the Rockafire Explosion community is not being original enough. Now, part of that's due to Aaron Fechter not being very open to copyright and shit. Same with Chuck E. Cheese's. Well, Chuck E. Cheese's is a massive corporation, multi-billion-dollar corporation, so they can't really be lenient on that type of shit. With Chuck E. Cheese's anyway. Aaron, you could be a lot more lenient on, but he's kind of selfish. Yeah. But I think the main issue here is that Chuck E. Cheese's is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that will not allow you to be creative with their IP, and Aaron Fechter is a greedy guy who won't allow you to be creative with the Rockafire. Unless if you want to pay, I don't know, like $1 billion or whatever for the Rockafire licensing, like what Billy Bob's Wonderland has had to go through, I'm sure, back in the 90s, early 90s. And Aaron Fechter tried to sue Billy Bob's Wonderland or something like that, I think. Or maybe I'm thinking of Smitty Super Service Station. I don't know. But either way, he tried to sue Billy Bob's Wonderland for copyright infringement in the 90s or 2000s or whatever. And funny to say, I think he had lost because he had the IP, he'd given the rights way before then, like in 1989 or something like that. I don't know. And he also, I think, tried to take down Smitty Super Service Station, but that didn't work out. I don't think anything ever came of that, thank God. Or at least he tried to trademark it or some shit. I don't know. It's kind of dumb. But, yeah, I kind of don't blame the Rockafire and CEC devs for wanting to keep their games private. Because, I mean, they don't really have a choice. It's either get a cease and desist like 64th Gamer, or try to bargain with Aaron, which is, I'm assuming, impossible, because the guy literally is a very busy man, number one. Number two, doesn't really read his emails very much. I've emailed him before in the past, and boy, it takes years. Well, not years, but it takes a couple months for him to respond. Also, he's in the process of moving, which is a very hard process on its own, so I can't fault factor for that. But he should at least try to be more lenient on fan games that want to use the Rockafire Explosion IP in the most respectful way, of course. And I also think that Chuck E. Cheese's should also put together some sort of agreement between fans and, well, their lawyers or whatever, that says, hey, if I do this, this, and this in a respectful manner that does not infringe upon Chuck E. Cheese copyrights, maybe I can use the IP or some shit. I don't know. But, yeah. That's my huge issue with the recent drama between Central, Showtape, and Demonic Abyss. Yeah, that's my recent kind of issue, is the lack of creativity in these Rockafire/CEC fan games, these animatronic programming fan games, the lack of creativity, as well as the lack of public ability. Now, like I said earlier, that's not the fault of the devs, that's a copyright thing. But yeah. See you guys later.